right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Building back better in North City.
We want to keep the community, keep our own neighborhoods. We got to be able to rebuild it ourselves.
The group of teens building new homes for tornado victims and a better framework for their future.
While thunderstorms are in the forecast this week, the threat of severe weather overall looks low. When the storm chances ramp up and why any severe threat seems limited.
Our top story, violent fare. An Uber driver shot by his passengers just steps from a police department in a quiet Metro East neighborhood.
Nobody wants crime in their backyard, no matter where they live.
Tonight, that driver is in critical condition while 4 people, including a teen, are in custody. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush. The shooting happened in Columbia, Illinois, nearly 20 miles from where the driver picked up his passengers in North St. Louis. New at 10, Annie Krall spoke with neighbors about the violence hitting close to home.
Around 2:30 a.m. on Saturday, a typical Uber ride in North St. Louis turned into one man's nightmare. Columbia, Illinois police saying in a statement that a 17 and a 20-year-old pointed a gun at their driver, ordering him to go to his home in Columbia, Illinois.
My obvious first thought process was a little bit of concern, a little bit of worry.
After initially complying with the armed man and teen by driving across the Mississippi River, the 52-year-old driver brought them to the Columbia Police Department parking lot. As the car came to a stop at the police department, officers say one of the suspects fired a gun at the driver, hitting him in the face.
I found it interesting that the Uber driver told them the city that he lived in as compared to where the press release stated they were picked up.
Officers responded immediately and provided on-scene medical aid, eventually transporting the driver to an area hospital. He was critically injured, but police say is expected to survive.
We're just really glad that the Uber driver is okay.
The passengers then ran south toward a nearby park. A woman who lives less than 5 blocks away wanted to remain anonymous, but said it's a very popular area.
It's beautiful and serene, and I walk it all the time, and people are always rollerblading and walking their dogs at all hours.
Neighbors didn't want to go on camera, but said they were shocked to hear what happened while they slept.
Nobody wants crime in their backyard, no matter where they live.
Columbia police deployed their drones and canines, getting help from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and Waterloo PD to search the woods. Then officers spotted a silver GMC SUV driving slowly in the area with 2 women inside. The police drone followed and captured the moment the 2 suspects came out of the woods and jumped in the SUV. Police took all 4 into custody.
The fact that they got the canine units out quickly, it was taken care of, and everyone was apprehended, so that obviously makes us feel better.
Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
Investigators are working with the state's attorney's office to pursue criminal charges against all 4 suspects. They're expected to release more information tomorrow during a 5 p.m. news conference. Developing tonight, the FBI investigating a targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado that injured a half-dozen people during a pro-Israel march. Authorities say the suspect yelled "Free Palestine" as he used a makeshift flamethrower and an incendiary device on the crowd. 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon was arrested at the scene. 6 people, ages 67 to 88, suffered burns and other injuries ranging from serious to minor. They were part of a group marching to raise awareness of Israeli hostages still being held by Hamas. Witnesses say they quickly jumped in to help.
It was 2 older ladies just like kind of rolling around a little bit. They were in their underwear because they had like stripped their pants, obviously. And yeah, I was just like, how can I help? And they had like really bad burns all up on their legs. And then I went over to this other grass area that was like right by the front entrance. And there were some people, there was another lady on the ground with really bad burns on her legs, just like screaming.
Within hours of the attack, the Jewish Federation of St. Louis responded saying, quote, "We are heartbroken and outraged by today's terror attack in Boulder. We remain fully committed to confronting anti-Semitism wherever and however it happens. Our ask of our friends, neighbors, and colleagues in our community is to show us that we are not alone in this fight against hate." Right now, police are searching for a person of interest in a deadly shooting in Alton. Police say it happened early this morning on Agnes Boulevard near Illinois State Route 3. Officers say they found 41-year-old Christopher Green shot on the road. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Anyone with information is asked to call Alton Police at 618-463-3505. Today, St. Louis city leaders and the family of fallen retired St. Louis Police Captain David Dorn honored his service and his sacrifice. Organizers unveiled a green bench in St. Louis Place Park. Dorn was killed during the 2020 unrest following George Floyd's death. He was trying to protect his friend's pawn shop at the time. Mayor Kara Spencer and Police Chief Robert Tracy attended this ceremony. Dorn's family says his legacy is one worth protecting.
He was a dedicated civil servant. He was a man of integrity. He really served his community. He invested in young people. And so today is really all about that. It's just making sure that his legacy is preserved.
Dorn's wife, former police sergeant Ann Dorn, has since started a foundation in his name supporting local police officers. Turning now to our weather impact forecast. For the first time in months, the lights are shining on the Gateway Arch. They were shut off, you'll remember, so they didn't interfere with bird migration. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell says heat and storm chances are migrating towards St. Louis this week.
They are, and I think we're going to stay just shy of 90 degrees tomorrow, and you know why? It's that wildfire smoke. It held us back today, and I think it's going to do the same thing again tomorrow. Not a health concern, though, for us around St. Louis, and that's what it looks like from the Illinois side. From Worldwide Technology Raceway, the Arch finally lit back up after a month for the birds to migrate. Some are still migrating north for sure, but the main migration period is during the month of May. As you see what's going on now, not much across the bi-state region. We did have a couple of spot showers to our south. We have had those temperatures dropping back into the 70s. But look, it's all about this wildfire smoke that's aloft. It's given us this hazy, milky sky now since Friday afternoon, and we've had to deal with that. And you get those vibrant sunset colors because the reds, oranges, and yellows are much more prominent as that wildfire smoke filters out the blues. All right, it's a warm start to the week for sure. Maybe we get to 90 on Tuesday. Maybe we miss it by just a bit. The milky skies through tomorrow, and then we have our shower and thunderstorm chances arriving midweek. More on that in a few minutes, Mike.
All right, Scott. Tonight, St. Louis police tell us they've arrested a number of people for stealing utility wire in neighborhoods impacted by the May 16th tornado. Police say the arrests span days. Right now, the department is working with its utility partners to investigate the thefts. Police haven't told us yet if anyone has been charged, but we're working to get you that information. A North St. Louis contractor got a group of teens and young men together this weekend to build tiny homes for tornado victims in North St. Louis who lost everything. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski shares how their small mission is providing a big help to their neighbors. Laura.
Mike, the group is hoping to build at least 100 tiny homes for tornado victims. And while it's mainly just a summer project right now, the skills they learn and the impact it has will last a lot longer.
When I drove through these neighborhoods and I realized honestly that 80% of these homes not gonna come back up, but you got people that really don't want to leave their homes, and what's the next solution for them?
The solution, tiny homes for tornado victims.
Well, inside this tiny house is about 85 square foot. This one right here, this prototype would be fit for 2 beds. 2 beds, gonna do custom cabinets on top of it for they have storage and things like that. It's just shelter. Then we have the smaller ones, which is about 55 square foot. It'll be 1 bed, 1 bed, little air conditioning unit, door, just enough for storage, just enough hope.
To get it done, Arion Johnson, known as Prop-Man Johnson Sr., brought teens and others from the community together to build them in the parking lot at 100 Black Men.
They learning integrity, they learning how to square things up, they learning how to measure, they learning how to cut, how to frame. Right now we're doing siding.
By the end, these teens will know how to do it all, down to the electric work. Mentor Eric Wilson says they can't do it alone.
This is a direct call out to Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, everybody that want to come and donate materials and let us teach these young people how to build these houses.
Committeewoman Dr. Yolanda Yogi Yancey says this mission is the definition of St. Louis that isn't found in the dictionary.
This has simply been phenomenal and amazing to see young people actually learning a tangible skill, transferable skill that will take them for a lifetime. You teach a man to fish, they'll eat all day, and so that's what's taking place on this property today.
If you'd like to volunteer or donate, you can reach out to Prop-Man Johnson Sr. on Facebook. There will be more work days coming up, and we'll have that link on KSDK.com under the As Seen on TV section.
Today, dozens of people near Fountain Park came out to help their storm-impacted neighbors. Local businesses, churches, and community leaders held a relief collection drive on North Kings Highway. Volunteers accepted clothing, food, flashlights, batteries, and other essentials. Volunteers say they were doing anything they could to pitch in.
It is definitely a call to action. We need everyone to be involved. Everyone plays a part, and every little action makes a difference in the whole effort.
The group set up drop-off locations all over Bell Fountain Neighbors and Delwood.
Old school, new purpose.
I knew for many years that I wanted to be a teacher.
Tonight, meet the retired educator who hasn't stopped making a difference in her students' lives.
Sometimes you can just see the light come on. That's the thrill of my life when they finally get it.
We flirt with 90 degrees early this week, but we also have the wildfire smoke aloft, at least through Monday, and storm chances by midweek. We're tracking what you need to know as you plan the week ahead.
Making a Difference is sponsored by Midwest Bank Center.
Well, school is out for many kids in the St. Louis area, but for one devoted nun, the lesson never ends. In tonight's Making a Difference report, we meet Sister Celine, who turned retirement into a simple math problem. Subtract the classroom, but keep the students.
At Notre Dame High School, Sister Celine proves retirement is just a concept, not a calling.
Well, good to see you. Have a good day.
In these Lee May hallways, the bell still summons her smile.
Thank you. You're welcome.
6 decades after she first answered a higher calling.
It's just a good fit. I mean, I love to teach. I just really love to teach. I've been doing it my whole life.
From farm girl to school sister of Notre Dame in 1964, her classroom journey crossed 4 states before retiring in 2020.
Well, I've taught a lot of chemistry and a lot of physics, but I've also taught geometry. I think once or twice I might have had algebra 2.
But for Sister Celine, putting down the chalk was one equation she couldn't solve.
When Sister Celine retired from Notre Dame High School as a teacher, she expressed to me a desire to continue being involved in the school and helping to fulfill the mission. She mentioned that tutoring our students in a one-on-one capacity in especially areas of science and math was something that she felt like she could easily fulfill.
And if we want to find the radius,
now she transforms mathematical mysteries,
let's round it off to 40,
into moments of clarity, one student at a time.
It helps me, she says certain things and explains them in a certain way so I can understand them and remember them for the test.
So let's say this is X.
For this Illinois farm-grown educator, the harvest comes in flashes of understanding.
What does R stand for?
Radius.
Radius, very good. I love to see the kids light up when, oh, I get it. I finally get it. Sometimes you can just see the light come on when they get it. And that's the thrill of my life. 180 divided by 18.
I think she truly loves Notre Dame. I think she truly loves just helping children in general and just being around the youth and just being and connecting with girls one-on-one.
What's 1 times 15? The retirement part is I don't have to grade papers. I don't have to make lesson plans. I can go home at night and I'm done. I can just enjoy my evening.
Between hymns with her sisters, she's still conducting symphonies of discovery.
I think that's just where her heart is. It's her big life passion. She just loves it, and she loves being with her students and doing whatever she can so that they'll be successful.
The greatest thing about teaching is not to reveal your gifts to them, but to reveal their gifts to themselves so they know what gifts they have and what contributions they can make. Here's a quadrilateral with 90.
They say if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
We got X's and Y's this time.
For Sister Celine, the same goes for retirement.
Have a good evening.
Proving that in the equation of life,
good to see you. Good to see you.
Devotion plus passion always equals purpose.
Goodbye. Have a nice evening.
Sister Celine's favorite thing? Hearing from former students who tell her she made a difference in their lives. And a reminder, if you know someone making a difference for others, let me know by email at mbush@ksdk.com. And we want to take a moment to congratulate former sports reporter Ron Jacober on his induction into the Missouri Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame. Ron joined what was then KSD-TV in 1969. Over the next 16 years, he interviewed a who's who in the world of sports, everyone from boxing great Muhammad Ali to Harry Carey on the day Anheuser-Busch fired him as the Cardinals broadcaster.
I started in public relations, and it was an accidental career. I had no idea of going into broadcasting, frankly, when I got out of college. As I learned early in life, I was not going to make Cooperstown as a baseball player. So this is my Cooperstown, the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
After Ron left KSDK, he spent 26 years at KMOX. He's been inducted in 6 other halls of fame. Congratulations to Ron. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joined us now with the weather impact forecast, and we were hoping to see perhaps the aurora borealis tonight, Scott.
Yeah, the northern lights. A lot of talk of it, and the latest we've seen here is that the energy is just kind of bypassing Earth and not aligning just so. And to be honest, I'm not sure we would have seen it even if we were getting, you know, a good shot at it tonight because of that smoke that's in the higher levels. We do have a pretty picture of the Gateway Arch. It's lit up again tonight for the first time in a month as we have returned our lights to service down on the arch grounds with the bird migration peak passing. This is what it looked like. Look how the sun's just kind of standing out, just like a dot. Because of those high levels of smoke up there, the concentration up at about 8, 10, 12,000 feet. It's been pretty substantial. And so that's just dimmed things quite a bit, made for that hazy sky. Jamie shared that picture with us on our 5 on Your Side Weather Watchers Facebook group. So the wildfire smoke, it's mainly aloft. It gives us these milky skies during the day, some vibrant sunsets, but it's aloft. So there's no health impacts. But I think we noticed this today. We only made it into the low 80s in St. Louis. We should have been in the mid 80s for highs. But because of that wildfire smoke, that knocked off a few degrees. So the heat index tomorrow and Tuesday close to 90. Not sure we'll actually get there on the thermometer, but the heat index will be there. We haven't had any really warm weather for any amount of time. Make sure you're staying hydrated the next couple of days, just as our bodies start to get acclimated. And by the time they do start to get acclimated, we'll cool it off with storm chances on Tuesday night into Wednesday and Thursday. Where are they coming from? Well, it's all quiet now, but we look out west, there is increasing area of unsettled weather. Eventually, this unsettled weather starts marching its way towards us. Now, it's not tonight, it's not tomorrow. We'll wake up tomorrow morning, quiet conditions, most of us above 60 degrees. We go back into the mid 80s as we head towards lunchtime. We'll plateau around 87 to 88 degrees tomorrow afternoon because of that high level smoke that just doesn't want to go away. Tomorrow evening's fine. There's your heat index forecast in the upper 80s to around 90 tomorrow afternoon. Just a little extra water. The severe weather threat is still to our north and west here as we head into Tuesday and Tuesday evening. There's a very limited opportunity for something to flare up out ahead of this, with this main line coming in later on Tuesday into Tuesday night. I think by the time it gets here, it's kind of fizzling out on us, and we don't get much more than showers and rumbles of thunder and some downpours. By the time the week's done, 1 to 3 inches of rain is probably a pretty safe bet. 73 right now, 82 and 63 with the high and low today. Wouldn't you know it? That's exactly average for the first day of June. How rare is that? 88 tomorrow. Again, the milky sky, but otherwise it's mostly sunny. Your best rain chances rolling in here as we head into Wednesday and into Thursday. There will be rain chances into the upcoming weekend, but it does get a little more scattered going into next weekend. And you really only have 2 really warm days this week. And that's
time to go on the move. I'm Paul Cook, your traffic guy from Today in St. Louis. All right, drivers who use Lindbergh Boulevard or Route 67 north of Interstate 64 can expect some delays this summer. MoDOT closed the bridge over Deer Creek on Tuesday just south of German Boulevard and Conway Road, so the bridge can be replaced. Drivers will need to allow extra time, of course, to use the alternate routes because Lindbergh is going to be closed in both directions. MoDOT tells us the work is being done to meet Americans with Disability Act requirements. Drivers heading north will be able to enter the Honda Frontenac through a break in that center barrier, and drivers heading south will be able to access the gas station just north of Deer Creek and exit near Forshaw. Marked detours around the bridge include I-64, Interstate 170, and Olive. The bridge is expected to be closed through late July. Stay safe out there. Paul Cook, 5 on Your Side.
A budget bill battle on Capitol Hill. The next steps this week for President Trump's plan to cut taxes and federal spending. Developing tonight, Ukraine launched a massive attack against Russia on Russian soil. Military officials say Ukraine destroyed more than 40 strategic planes in a drone strike. The attack comes just hours before a new round of peace talks begin between the two countries. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has not directly addressed the strike. Tonight, the U.S. Senate is preparing to take on President Donald Trump's sweeping budget bill. It passed in the U.S. House last month by just one vote. The bill includes trillions of dollars in tax cuts and slashes funding to food stamps. It also includes a work or school requirement for some Medicaid recipients. Republicans say these changes will make the country stronger. Democrats argue they will only hurt Americans.
We're not cutting Medicaid. What we're doing is strengthening the program. We're reducing fraud, waste, and abuse that is rampant in Medicaid.
Premiums, co-pays, and deductibles for tens of millions more will go up. Actually, if it ever were to be implemented into law, hospitals will close, nursing homes will shut down, and people will literally die.
President Trump says he hopes the Senate passes the bill by July 4th. Turning the city's storm trash into treasure. The St. Louis Zoo is turning debris into a delight for animals. St. Louis Zoo is putting storm debris from the May 16th tornado to good use. Zookeepers spent today collecting leaves from fallen trees to use as snacks for the animals. The zoo says it collected more than 1,000 pounds of leaves, which can feed the animals for months. The zoo has since reopened all of the impacted exhibits except for the butterfly wing. And Scott has a final check of our weather.
Yes, and while we have some showers and thunderstorms in the forecast starting probably Tuesday night, more likely into Wednesday and Thursday. Right now, the options for severe weather look exceedingly limited around here. More likely downpours, the greatest threat. And of course, cloud to ground lightning. We'll be in the upper 80s tomorrow. More milky skies because of the wildfire smoke, close to 90 on Tuesday. Those storms trying to roll in here Tuesday evening, overnight Tuesday night.
And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m.